So he's literally croaking, right? Last breath rattling in his chest. And he grabs her hand and whispers, Lily, promise me. Find Josh. Forgive us. And then, poof. Flatline. Can you believe the audacity?
Must you be so relentlessly crude? It's the inciting incident of Dani Atkins. Always you and me. A moment of profound grief and, arguably, profound love.
Profoundly creepy. Profoundly manipulative. He basically orders his grieving wife to go track down the hot ex-best friend she hasn't seen since right before their wedding. Red flags. This is a full-blown Soviet Mayday parade of red flags.
It's called a premise, a narrative catalyst. The author posits that Adam, the dying husband, harbored guilt over Lily and Josh's fractured past and sought posthumous resolution. It's complex.
Complex. It's the setup for a horror movie. My dead husband sent me to his suspiciously rugged, emotionally stunted rival who lives like a Unabomber in Scotland. I bet the author just spun a wheel of tropes. Dying wish. Second chance romance. Forced proximity snowstorm, bingo.
While the narrative scaffolding might employ familiar tropes, the emotional core revolves around grief, forgiveness, and the tangled messiness of long-held secrets. Adam isn't necessarily a villain.
Oh, here we go. Just like you defended that psycho Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights. Oh, he's just complex. No. Some people are just controlling creeps. Even from beyond the grave. This Adam guy knew something. Reviewers are whispering about secrets. Maybe a pregnancy. Maybe he sabotaged Lily and Josh way back. When? He's not being noble. He's cleaning up his own spectral mess.
Speculation. The text presents him as flawed, certainly. Perhaps morally grey. He wanted Lily to be happy. Potentially.
Or he wanted control. He couldn't stand the thought of her moving on unless it was on his terms. With the guy he picked, probably to ease his own guilty conscience. It's emotional puppeteering. And Lily. Don't get me started on Lily.
What's wrong with Lily? She's navigating unimaginable loss. Her passivity could be interpreted as shock, as deep mourning. The portrayal of grief is adequate.
Adequate. She's a human puddle. All she does is cry and have chestnut hair. I couldn't even picture her face. And she waits a year to fulfill the creepy ghost husband's wish. Get a grip, lady. And then she finally finds Josh. Oh, Josh.
Ah, yes. Josh, the brooding hermit. Classic archetype. Suffering from profound insecurity. Likely stemming from his difficult childhood and adoption. Manifesting as extreme avoidance behavior. Clinically fascinating, if narratively convenient.
Clinically fascinating. He ghosted her right before her wedding and ran away to a cabin in Scotland for years. Like my neighbor Gary after his wife found his Beanie Baby collection. Some readers think he's some sweet, broken Austin hero. Peft. One reviewer called him disgusting and gaslighting, and I'm leaning that way. Running away isn't romantic angst. It's pathetic. Grow a pair. Josh. Although, the hot lumberjack thing. Maybe. No. Pathetic.
His isolation is extreme. Yes. But it serves to heighten the dramatic tension when Lily inevitably finds him. And they are, of course, snowed in together. because, as you noted, are tropes.
Snowed in. What a surprise. Let me guess. Years of resentment and sexual tension explode. Probably over lukewarm tea. Because Hermit Josh forgot how to shop.
The narrative explores their shared history, the misunderstandings, the what-ifs. It delves into the reasons Adam sent her there, the secrets.
Secrets involving a baby. A miscommunication that lasted decades. Just talk to each other, you morons. This isn't complex. It's just stupid. Is this book actually good? Or is it just emotional torture porn?
That's the crux of the debate, isn't it? The book certainly elicits strong reactions. Reviews are wildly polarized. You have people saying, "I cried at the beginning, I cried at the end, I cried in the middle," and others saying, "Finished at 5 a.m. and spent another half hour sobbing."
That's not a review. That's a cry for help. Or dehydration. What about the sane people?
Then you have, and I quote, "The ending equally peeved me off and made me cry," and many calling Josh gaslighting. One particularly unhinged positive review called it wrecking them in the most tender, bittersweet, and healing way. Stockholm Syndrome. Perhaps.
Healing. How is any of this healing? Especially the ending. Let's talk about the ending.
Ah, yes. The controversial denouement. After all the storm and stress, the reconciliation, the second chance, the author includes a significant temporal leap, some 40 years, if memory serves, culminating in Lily's death.
She kills her off. After making us wade through 350 pages of tears and hermit angst and ghost husband guilt trips. She just fast forwards 40 years and Lily kicks the bucket. What was the point? Readers are furious. They feel cheated. It's described as peeving, confusing, rushed, and just why?
Or beautifully realistic, a bold choice, illustrating life's full circle, the inevitability of loss, the bittersweet nature of finding happiness only for it to be finite. It subverts the traditional happily ever after expectation.
Subverts. It spits in the face of the reader, who just invested hours in these emotionally constipated characters. It's a cheap shot. We got a fake listener email here. Dear Heart. Book radio. I thought this book would be a lovely rom-com. Instead, I ugly cried on the subway, and the ending made me want to throw my Kindle into traffic. Thanks for nothing. Brenda from Boys. See. Brenda gets it.
Brenda perhaps sought escapism and was confronted with a more melancholic realism. It's a matter of expectation. If Lily were a sandwich...
Oh, God. Not the sandwich analogy again.
If Lily were a sandwich, she'd be a perfectly pleasant cucumber sandwich. Unassuming, slightly bland, but ultimately refreshing until, inevitably, it goes a bit soggy at the end.
And Adam's the moldy bread underneath. Okay. Final verdict. Is this emotional wood chipper worth the pain?
It's memorable, provocative, certainly, for its sheer audacity and the ensuing debate. I give it 6 out of 10 posthumous manipulations.
Whoa. Generous. I give it 2 out of 5 rolls of sobbing. Induced toilet paper. It made me mad. Parts were boring. Josh needs therapy. Adam needs an exorcist doll. And the ending is authorial malpractice. But I couldn't stop reading. Fine, 3 rolls.
High praise indeed.
Shut up. All right, folks. That's all the time we have for this tear-soaked train wreck.
Join us next week on Heart Book Radio, where we'll be dissecting the controversial new release, My Goldfish Writes Erotica.
You won't want to miss it. Or maybe you will. Who cares? Signing off.